Alright guys, we're live on YouTube at a 1:45, and this particular clock does not show us AM and PM, but it's actually 1:45 in the morning, which I believe is AM. So right now I'm talking to myself. There are zero people logged in, so I'm just wandering around here talking to myself. And here we go. We got somebody just logged in. Figured we'd see how many night owls there are out there tonight. So 2 people. We got a couple of night owls. A couple of people logging in. There's 3. All right. I'm not talking to myself. 4 people. So I'm kind of wandering around the garage here. I actually just finished up a paint job. That's what's going on in the booth over here. Just finished up a little collision job on a Dodge Magnum, one of those big Dodge station wagons. But for the last week or 2, I think about, I don't know, it's been a couple weeks since I put a video up. Do you mind if it is in the morning? It's pretty early morning here. I'm sure East Coast, we're 2-3 hours ahead of us here. Yeah, it's late. This is actually my second kind of all-nighter this week. Earlier in the week, I think it was Tuesday night, I pulled an all-nighter. I ended up just pulling the synchro out here because I didn't feel like pulling everything back in, and I came out about 3 o'clock and just crashed in my bus. Australia, you guys are like way ahead of us, like a day ahead of us most of the time. But so anyway, in one of my last videos, 9:45 in the morning in Holland. All right, we got Australia, Holland. That's awesome. Yeah, doing a live video, early morning live video just for you guys. So yeah, 1:45 here. So in one of my last videos, I was talking about this Savannah beige bay window here, and I'd mentioned that I was going to put a video together on it. Yeah, the single cab. Let's walk in here and I'll show you the single cab. So obviously I'm here at 1:45 in the morning. This last couple months has just been crazy busy, and the single cab has kind of got put on the back burner. It's just that time of year, I guess, where I'm super busy. I've been trying to sneak away and, you know, take a Saturday off here or there, or a weekend off here and there. We've done a couple camping trips. So the single cab looks a lot like it did probably in the last video that you saw. We're kind of at the point where I need to pull it out of here, and I need to clean out the engine bay. But the thing that we really got to work on, and like I say, we'll just talk about this for a minute since you asked. Look at the way the dirt is just packed in underneath here. So basically what I've got is, if we walk over here, Friday at 5:45, where are you at there, bud? So over here I've got all the metal for a rotisserie. Had my buddy Dan bring over his yeah, the sheet metal on the single is really good. But I got this welder here. The last video I had planned was to weld up a rotisserie, because the only way that we're gonna get this thing, you know, flipped over to where I can clean up all that dirt is to flip it on its side. So I'm stalled right now, basically just for time, man. I mean, obviously I'm here at, you know, I'm spending the night here the last few days trying to knock out some projects. Yeah, we'll just look again. You guys have already seen this if you watched one of the last videos, but move this spare tire. That's actually the majority of the rust right here in the rocker. But I promise I'm going to get back on this soon. I kind of hoped that this thing would be on the road this summer, and the summer is quickly getting away from me. This is kind of cool. Check out this. I believe this wheel came with the single cab, and check out that check out that paint on that original commercial cap. Pretty cool. I wish I had some more of these. Anybody out there that has some more gray commercial caps, I would be interested. I mean, even check out the white inside the emblem there. That's pretty cool. I would like to get my hands on a few more of those. Yeah, in Holland. So I just mentioned in Holland they have lifts. You know, I've got actually back over here, I've got a couple lifts. Currently, my buddy Willie Karsten, his bakery bus is up on there. Type 4 engine. Putting a new oil cooler in it. There's a couple of exhaust studs that are broke out on it. And so I got to tear into that and finish that up. This car here is in for some major work, timing belt, and a few other water pump, some miscellaneous odds and ends. But let's walk back out here. Got sidetracked on the single cab for a minute. It does make life much easier with the lift, for sure. So we're gonna walk out here to this bay window, and I'm just gonna give you guys kind of a quick walk around on this bay. Now this bay is actually sold. Sold it to a friend of mine. We actually pulled this out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This is a cold start. Hasn't been started for a couple of days. Let's pop in here. I am West Coast technically. I'm in Idaho, so we're mountain time. So West Coast is Pacific time. They're an hour ahead of us. Or, excuse me, an hour behind us. We're an hour ahead of them. So let's fire up this little bay window. That's a cold start. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the video. Alright, I'm going to turn my headlamp off while I back up. Let's turn some headlights on. Well, I don't know if it's dedication or, you know, I call it ox in the mire. Just had a comment said, you're up at 2 a.m. That's dedication. When you're self-employed, this is the reality, man. When stuff needs done, you just stay late and do it. The car that's in the paint booth is actually an insurance job, and my deadline on that, I have a hard deadline of tomorrow that it's got to be delivered to the customer. They also want a windshield put in it, so tomorrow morning I'll be throwing that car together and doing the glass install. Really, the VW stuff, honestly, I mean, we have a lot of Volkswagens around here, and we do occasionally sell one now and then, but for the most part, the VW stuff around here, I try to keep it a hobby. So let's walk around this thing. This is a beautiful bus. I believe, let's see, let's double check again. 1970. That's what I was thinking. So this is the second to the last year of what's considered what some people call the low light bay window, because the turn signals are down here low. In 73, they moved the turn signals up here. 72 was kind of a weird year. It still had the low turn signals up front, but it had the big rectangle taillights. So this is the second to the last year of the early bay windows. 71, of course, was very similar to this, but they went from the 5 on 205 pattern to the smaller 5 pattern disc brakes. This thing's got, like I say, let's just we'll do a little walk around on it. It's got a little bit of rust in the rockers. Let me walk back here and I'll show you the engine real quick. And then I'll shut it off so we can hear a little better. But listen to this baby purr. This right here needs change. Check that out. A little bit of fuel dripping right there. I haven't touched this thing since I got it to the shop. So that's probably something that I'll address before this thing goes away. I'll swap that out with some fresh fuel line. But I mean, this engine bay is just completely unmolested. Beautiful bus, great little runner. So guys, let me walk up here and I'll shut this thing off and we can talk about it for a minute. This bus here is a great example of, I guess, what you would call ask price versus sell price. And you see a lot, I mean, I guess what I mean by that is ask prices. Ask prices on buses are insane. This particular bus was for sale in Jackson Hole. A friend of mine called me up and told me about it. The ask price on this bus, I believe, was $8,500 is what they were asking for it. It was at a little foreign car repair shop. And 85 is actually probably about what you would see it for sale for. And so then we just all assume that since that's what it was for sale for, that's, you know, what they're going to get out of it. Yeah, Jackson Hole's not a bad little town. It's kind of overrun with really, really populated anymore, but it's all right to visit every so often. Yes, prices are rising. So anyways, back to the price on this one. $8,500 was the ask price, okay? So a friend of mine told me about it. He said, what do you think? Sent me some photos. I actually contacted another friend of mine who was interested in purchasing it. He's kind of looking for a bus. And I'll just tell you that even after my buddy in Jackson made the deal and he made a couple bucks on it, and then I made a couple bucks on it and passed it on to my buddy, we still bought this thing for several $1,000s less than, you know, the original ask price. So, I mean, this is a good example of, you know, like I say, ask price versus sale price. Just because you see something for sale for $8-9 grand, that doesn't mean that's what it's necessarily going to sell for. And so when you see something like this for sale, I mean, don't be shy. You know, if you're interested and you got the money to step up to the plate and purchase it, I mean, make somebody an offer on it, because a lot of times these are selling for a lot less than, yeah, $28,500 for a Vanagon. I don't know. Synchro, definitely. Westy camper, maybe, if it's super nice. In fact, let's go, let's deviate from this for just a moment. Speaking of Vanagons, let me show you a Vanagon that we get a lot of calls off of our YouTube channel with people that have different things. It was a Westy, okay. You know, really, I mean, for a clean Westy, that's high, obviously, but it's not. I mean, I follow some different shops on Instagram and some on YouTube, and I follow one place in particular, Cap City Vanagons. I believe they're in Ohio. And I've seen some of their ask prices recently on Westies, like, you know, even like 84, 85 stuff, where they're in the low to mid 20s. But speaking of Vanagons, first of all, this is my little Bible that I carry with me. All of these pages right here, these first several pages, I'm not going to flip through them and show them to you, but that's basically where I keep all my contacts, all the VWs I'm hunting. Yeah, if you're in Ohio, I think Cap City Vanagons, look them up. They sell some really nice stuff. I mean, I'm not saying their stuff's overpriced by any means, because their buses are very clean. But let me show you this one. This one right here is a one owner. The owner's name is Gene. And Daryl, his son, actually kind of watches our YouTube channel a little bit. And he's actually the one that called me on it. Let's see if I can close this, prop this up so you can kind of see here. so I can flip through these pictures. So this is a 1985, and it is a beautiful van. And Daryl called us up and he said, hey, look, my dad, he's kind of done driving his van. He doesn't really use it as much as he used to. He'd like to sell it. And the price was okay. Yeah, this is a cool. This has got the, rather than the full camper, you can see here it's got jump seats, rear facing jump seats, and then it's got this table here that'll fold up. I like these because they've got a lot more room in them than the full campers. The full camper is just, there's a lot of extra weight, and I mean, honestly, I just don't think I would use all that camper stove stuff. But I mean, this thing's got 213,000 miles on it. It's super clean, and actually, I mean, it was probably a little more money than I was looking to spend. I just wasn't really in the market for a Vanagon. Hey, bud, have a great day. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll catch you later. Yeah, so if it had the stove plugs, it was a full camper. So this one's not the full camper. So anyways, a friend of mine, Ed, who is actually lives here in Idaho Falls, and he actually rented our little 2-wheel drive Karat over the 4th of July and took his family up camping to Island Park. When they got back, Ed told me, he said, hey, keep an eye out for a really nice, Westie. I'm in the market. They had a Westie years ago when they first got married, and he's looking for another one. And Ed is actually, he's been a YouTube subscriber for years. He was one of our first patrons on Patreon, and really cool guy, fun guy to hang out with, good friend of mine. Like I say, he was a YouTube subscriber, then became a friend. We've hooked up at several car events around town here. I've been out to his place. He's got a little 61 Bug, and he's just wanting another camper. And so I actually just passed that camper on to Ed, and it looks like he's made the deal on it. It's up in northern Idaho, so he's going to go up there and basically pick that up here in the upcoming weeks. So this is probably, oh, it's not locked. All right. So let's get back to this bay window. I want to show you guys, this thing is all original paint. And let's walk around. I'll start on the driver's left front, or the driver's front corner, because that's usually where I start all my walk arounds. We'll give you guys a proper walk around on this old bus. 1970 bay window. You guys heard it run a minute ago. Seats are in good shape. Pads a little low on them, but they're not torn up. Dash is actually really nice. Missing a horn button. Floor up here has had a repair, but really it's pretty solid otherwise. Dog leg, a little bit of rust here. A little bit of rust here. Down under the jacking points are pretty solid. Up in here we've got a little bit of rust, which this is kind of along the base of that bulkhead inside. They kind of, sometimes it's kind of a problem area for them. So if you're looking at buses, always kind of check this area here around this jack point and above that jack point. I believe this is called a top hat, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's usually what I've called those. There's several of them that run across the floor. I believe those are called top hats. So down underneath here, rocker's a little rusty on the outer. Not bad on the inner. The inner's pretty nice. Long wall's nice and straight. Couple little dings. Bumper is pushed back slightly. You can see it's kind of tapped something and just been pushed into the nose. Nose has got a little ding right here. Rust around the windshield frame's minimal, just kind of surface. Windshield has a crack. Roof's actually pretty nice. Moving back around to this side, we've got a broken marker, which these are actually, I think they're making them now aftermarket, but like a good hella one, they're getting very difficult to find. All right. Again, rust over here is Kind of minimal. It's just surface. Nice patina. Look at how this paint's kind of faded out. This is a cool color. Savannah beige is the color on this bus. Yeah, it could have been pushed in from bumping the garage. Yeah, in a small garage or something. I mean, a tight fit, that definitely is a possibility. Background of this seat. This seat's actually in really good shape. Looks like the driver's seat probably saw a lot more action than the passenger seat. Pad and everything over here is in a lot better shape. Floor on this side is decent. Dan, you're just getting up for work. You're slacking off, buddy. Of course, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. You're a baker, right? If I remember right, Dan is a baker. Dan has been with us for a long time. Subscribed to the channel a long time ago. And of course, we subscribed to Dan's channel. And if I remember right, Dan gets up early in the morning, way before most of us do, and goes down and does some baking. And he's in a really historic little town in Oregon, if I remember right. I don't remember the name. You'll have to hit us with the name here, Dan. But some of the videos that Dan does of kind of the historic parts of the little town he lives in is amazing. He's got a really cool balcony that he can sit out on, and the little parade. Yeah, Jacksonville, Oregon. And he sits out on, he's got this balcony, like a front row kind of bird's eye view. Bird's eye view of the parade route in this little town he's in. And I mean, really neat little town. The videos that he puts up, go check out Dan Jarrett. Go check out some of his videos. I mean, yeah, the little historic town he lives in, it's a beautiful little town in Oregon. So back to our van here. So yeah, go to work, Dan. And yeah, Dan Jarrett, Grants Pass. Okay, that's another comment to Dan Jarrett. You bet, bud. Yeah, go. I don't know what you're baking this morning, but I'm sure it's going to be good stuff. I've got a baker buddy. In fact, over on the lift, right over there, is my buddy Willie Karstens. That's his van, Karstens Bakery. He's an old German baker, and every time I call up Willie, or every time he calls me up, I'll say, "How's things going, Willie?" And he always tells me that he's rolling in the dough. So, baked in Oregon, there you go. And it's legal now. All right, back to the good. Have a good morning at work, Dan. Thanks for checking in, bud. So back to this thing. Floor is, look at this floor. I don't know if you can see the bends in this floor, but this thing's been put to work at some point. You know, that's had some heavy stuff hauled in here to cause that kind of bowing. You see this a lot on single cabs and double cabs that have been used, but for, you know, obviously these seats come out and then you can haul a bunch of stuff in the back of these. Obviously this thing spent some time with the seats out of it. You see that bowing right there. Rocker on this side is, you know, is a little crusty as well. Seats are okay. Headliner's okay. A couple rips. All right. Back around to the short wall. Got some rust here. These lips are in good shape. More of that patina I was talking about, just where it's faded through to primer and then sealer. So you've got the Savannah beige, you've got, actually, I believe that's the sealer, and then you've got the primer and then the sealer. So this one actually came out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So pretty decent little van. This is got the deluxe trim on it as well. So actually, I may be wrong on this. This might have, see how the roof on this is a white? There's a possibility this is white paint. The whole thing was sprayed in white and then it was two-toned with the Savannah beige. Probably. I make up a lot of this stuff as I go. All right, back in here. Interiors, you know, used, well used. Not a lot of rust in here. We already looked at the engine, so I'm not going to pop that again. Honk if I'm on fire stickers available at Volkswear.com. And all purchases made at Volkswear.com are shipped out by my daughter Savannah and directly benefit their ballet program. So you guys should definitely go over there and check it out. So that's it, guys. That's the Savannah Beige 1970. It'll be shipping out here soon. Like I say, I just kind of facilitated this deal for a buddy of mine. Out here, I've got this little bay window that I'm putting an engine in. No, so basically all we're doing on this one, here is I just bought it for a buddy, and I'm assuming when he gets it, it's going to go through a full restoration. He likes his stuff pretty nice, so I'm not doing anything at all with this one. I just kind of facilitated the transaction, ran up to Jackson Hole, picked it up, and it's just kind of camped out here until he gets a truck here to pick it up. So this one is, that's all I did. I'm just moving it around, but figured I'd share it with you guys. It's kind of a cool van. Maybe, no promises, but maybe in the next day or two, if things calm down a little bit, we'll grab a camera and go for a ride in it. But it's a sweetheart of a driver. It drives really nice. But then back out here, oh, I missed that little V-dub something. Arbitrage, I think is what it said. So out here, I've got a bay window. We're putting an engine in. This one's got a locked up motor in it right now. Not locked up, but it only turns about halfway each direction. So it's got a rod, through a rod. Over here is the 58 that we pulled out of, well, here in Idaho Falls. I've been meaning to get this one cleaned up. And actually inside this bad boy is still the chupacabra there. The chupacabra. How's that for freaking you out, huh? This thing needs some serious cleanup. Buy low, sell a little higher quickly. Well, this one was for a friend, so I basically just charged him to pull it out of Jackson and bring it back. But I did make a couple bucks on it, not gonna lie. But everybody kind of got a good deal on it. Everybody got a piece of the pie, I guess. Still got a really good deal on it for what it is. Well, guys, that's but thank you for the vocabulary lesson. Arbitrage, I was not sure, kind of, actually, to be honest with you, what that even meant. So I'll look it up as soon as the video's done. This engine here is what is it? It's Friday morning now. This engine is supposed to be in a car and delivered Saturday. So as soon as I get the car in the paint booth put together, I'm going to be doing an engine swap. But that is basically what's going on here, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night. Sitting here watching the videos flip through on the computer. 2:08 in the morning, Friday, August 2nd. And it feels like bedtime. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks. Glad you caught it too, man. I was kind of wondering if I was going to be all by myself here, or if anybody'd be tuning in. And yeah, I guess it's there's a few night owls out there, a few guys getting up early in the morning and heading off to work. I'm actually going to head home and crash for an hour or two, and come back and get that car knocked out, get it delivered to the customer, and start on my engine swap. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hang in there. Hopefully I can get kind of caught up with some work here. We'll get back on the single cap videos again, and we'll get back on a few other projects that we kind of got going on. Right now I'm just swamped, just buried with work, and just trying to deal with it all. But I appreciate you guys watching, appreciate the subscribers, appreciate you guys hanging in there with us and supporting the Volkswear YouTube channel. And we will catch you guys later. Have a great day.